All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome into another episode of the Spoiler Alert podcast. Just Dylan here today. And if I sound a little different, it's because my PC decided to shit itself. And I'm not using my normal, actual, nice condenser microphone. I am giving this a go on the Spotify for Podcasters app. We'll see how it goes. But either way, just me. For this episode, Ty is out and about having more fun than I am. But we'll get into it. This episode, we're going to get into some upcoming movies as usual. We are going to talk some movie news that Ty has supplied for me. And then I saw Gran Turismo, so I will give a little convince me to see or not for Gran Turismo. This episode likely to be a bit shorter. So let's hop into it. For upcoming movies of this week, what I just said, Gran Turismo. Based on the unbelievable, inspiring true story of a team of underdogs, a struggling working-class gamer, a failed former race car driver, and an idealistic motorsport executive who risk it all to take on the most elite sport in the world. Everyone knows Gran Turismo at this point, the very popular racing game, or if you might get in trouble if you say racing game, it is a racing simulator. But a very popular game. There's insane amounts of customization you can do within the game. People love it. So obviously a super popular game. This is a story I thought I would have heard about, but I never did. So it is a true story. And I'll jump into that a bit more when I go through the convince me to see or not. But it is pretty interesting. Essentially just one of the best Gran Turismo players ever becomes a real race car driver. This is starring David Harbour, Orlando Bloom, and Archie Madawick. I hope I said that correctly, but that's likely the name you don't recognize as much here. But he is Simon from Midsommar. He's actually also in a couple Ari Aster films. Well, of course, Midsommar being one of them, but he was in Beau is Afraid as well. He just plays the laughing man. So apparently he's buddies with Ari Aster, as he's been in a couple of his films. Neil Blomkamp, he's actually directed quite a few movies that I was surprised to see. A lot of them dealing with kind of I guess you can call them kind of post-apocalyptic futures. District 9 is not so much apocalyptic, but interesting futures, with aliens, robots, shit like that. So those movies are District 9, Chappie, and Elysium, which I never saw with Matt Damon. The other two, District 9 is a very interesting one. That I've enjoyed. Chappie is just a massive metaphor for, God and the relationship with humans. Not a terrible movie, just fucking weird. But either way, he directs this one. And I'm not going to go super into detail there, as we will be talking about it later. Next film here, Bottoms. I know Ty is excited for this one. Two unpopular queer high school students start a fight club to have sex before graduation. It just sounds really out there. The combination of, man, I just want to have sex before graduation. Like every other high school movie going. Well, American Pie was the movie for me, and then even further beyond that, obviously, Revenge of the Nerds, shit like that. So that's a very common theme. What's not a common theme is the way it sounds like they want to have sex. They want to start a fight club to get it going. So that just sounds silly. Something to keep an eye on here. Hopefully a good comedy, as we haven't really had many of those lately. It's starring Rachel Sennott from Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. And I swear I'm saying her name every week, but Ayo Edebiri from The Bear. She was in Theater Camp. She's in a lot of things. She's doing very well for herself, so good for her. She was in Ninja Turtles. Yeah, I forgot she was April O'Neil. So she is also in this one. It does look pretty funny. I have a hard time not getting my hopes up anymore. It's been happening a lot for these comedies, and I just don't want that to happen again. So while I hope it's good, I hope it's funny, I'm not going to write a big check. I don't know what metaphor I was going for there, but the point is, I'm not going to hold my breath. There it is. There's a good metaphor. Jesus. Next one here is called Retribution. This looks like a movie you've seen 1,000 times. A bank executive receives a bomb threat while driving his children to school that his car will explode if they stop and get out. So it's fucking Speed without Keanu, which made that movie great, and Sandra Bullock. It is Liam Neeson, so you can expect Liam Neeson things. It's essentially, a mix of Taken and Speed. Not running to the theaters to see that one. That's going to be a massive skip. Also, there's no way this movie does well. I don't know why we continue to make the same films over and over, just like with a slight change in them. It's just fucking stupid. Next one is called The Hill. It is the remarkable true life story of Ricky Hill's improbable journey to play Major League Baseball. So yet again, another baseball movie for Dennis Quaid, coming back as the rookie, old man playing baseball. He's still playing baseball here. So this is apparently yet another true story. Dennis Quaid likes baseball. He likes playing baseball players. Here he is. Next film here, Warrior King. This is an animated film that looks kind of interesting. It does look like it's in the style of a video game. But the story is a young man grows up in exile in a world overrun by demons and monsters. So easy enough story here. The animation, nothing to really write home about. But who knows? The story and for these types of films can kind of be shocking and end up being surprisingly good. The final movie here technically doesn't come out this weekend, but it will come out before our next episode. And I'm sad Ty's not here to talk about this with me, because these movies also need to stop. But it is Slaughterhouse, I should say. I didn't need to put some emphasis on sloth. Emily Young, a senior, wants to be elected as her sorority's president, so she adopts a cute sloth, thinking it can become the new mascot and help her win, until a string of fatalities implicate the sloth as the main suspect of the murders. So, yeah, these shitty animal horror films need to stop. They're so stupid. I don't know. These are films that can be 10, 15-minute films, and maybe they'll be okay. But turning them into full-length feature films is what gives horror a bad name, and why it isn't taken seriously anymore. So this is gonna suck. Lisa, oh boy. Of course, I get a fun name. Lisa Amb Al-Avananar. A lot of A's in that name. She is from Titans, a show no one gave a shit about. And also the writers and directors have also not done anything. Hopping into the news section here, section that is usually Ty's, but he has supplied me with all of the news for this week, so I will be kicking it off here. First news, Zepotha, a TikTok horror film, is to start production in 2024, starring EDM DJ Freya Fox. So that's okay. There's a lot of words thrown into there. So this is something I was not really aware of. Maybe Ty was, but apparently this was a movie that was believed to be a myth. And when Emily Jeffrey released a viral TikTok going into the background of this, it blew up. It blew up on TikTok, went viral. People got super excited about it. But it was apparently supposedly a hoax, and no one thought this movie was actually going to get made, but here we are. So it should be a horror film. I also guess it is a remake, 1987 remake of Zepotha. As it stands, presents a unique fusion of modern digital culture with the timeless appeal of classic horror. While it's too early to predict its success, the buzz is undeniable. Both diehard fans from the online community and casual moviegoers will be waiting with bated breath to see how this internet myth transforms on the big screen. I'm probably getting something of that wrong, but cool, I guess. I don't really know much more about that film. Hopefully it's good. Yet again, another horror film that probably doesn't need to be made, but here we are. Speaking of movies that don't need to be made, Dave Bautista and Jason Momoa, I had to take a pause, sorry, to team for Wrecking Crew from Blue Beetles director Angel Manuel Soto. Great. I don't care. I'm over Momoa. Bautista, I like him, but they need to give him some better roles. This just... It's described as a buddy comedy, which was kind of expected here. I'm not excited for it. I'm just over him. I'm over him. Ty might be able to provide a different view on this, but I'm just annoyed. Just give me something better. Some good news, though. Some good news. This Sunday, August 27th, second annual National Cinema Day. So take advantage of that. $4 tickets if you go see a movie on that day. Obviously, this is just kind of a way to boost sales because things have been under. But hey, whatever. $4 movie ticket, that's awesome. Go for it. Go see some movies. Go see multiple movies. Get your buds together. Make a day out of it. You see multiple movies a day. It'd be fun. Old Dads premieres October 20th on Netflix. So this is going to be, obviously, you can tell by the name, it's a comedy, but it is featuring Bill Burr, and this is his directorial debut. So that's exciting. I love Bill Burr. This is one, I just talked about comedies and how I don't want to get my hopes up about them. They pull me back in. I'm back here with this comedy that I hope will be good. I trust Bill Burr and what he does for comedy. Let me just pull open who's going to be in this one. Written by Bill Burr and Ben Fischler. Starring in the pick Katie Alston, Rain Edwards, Rachel Harris, Miles Robbins, and Jackie Thon. Bill Burr obviously producing. Bill Block, who produced Bad Moms and Dirty Grandpa. Okay, that's not great. And then Monica Levinson, who did the Borat films and Bruno. So that's good. And then Mike Bertolina, who is not marked here for anything. So best of luck to Bill Burr. I'm excited for that one. October 20th is when this comes out. Wow, filmed a long time ago. Did not get a theater run. Filmed almost 2 years ago. Curious what made them wait. But hey, it's going straight to Netflix. Let's see. Let's see what happens here with this one. Speaking, you get some nostalgia here. Good Burger 2. I said that all stupid. Good Burger 2 gets a teaser trailer that will be showing on Paramount Plus. I was whelmed by the trailer. Cal, I don't know. There's something about him. He doesn't look like himself. I mean, obviously it's been, 20 years at this point? Longer than that. He just looks so different. Keenan looks exactly the same. Maybe that's because we see Keenan so much more from Saturday Night Live and commercials than we see Cal, so maybe it's just a big surprise to me from, the last time I saw him with all that, Good Burger, and now here he is again. It kind of looks like he's had a little bit of work done on his face, which, whatever, that's fine, if you need it, you need it, but I was just kind of surprised to see him look like that. The teaser starts out with Cal running into Keenan with a car, and Keenan does like 8 backflips and lands perfectly in the car. Look, it's a cash grab for nostalgia. They did the same thing with Zoe 102. This movie is highly unnecessary. It could have been a Saturday Night Live skit and left at that, but no, let's make it a full feature film. Maybe people will buy Paramount Plus, which, no, they won't. But this just looks, I don't know. It's not going to be good. I'll just call it out here. Man, I'm such a fucking downer this episode. I mean, I usually am, but I need something good give me something that's going to excite me, you know? Don't just pull nostalgia out of your ass and hope people are going to go see it. Because this is from my time. And I don't care about it. Some other movie news here. WGA rejects the studio's latest offer. We don't need to go too much into that, but it got rejected. Okay, hopping into the final segment of today's episode. Like I said, this is a pretty short one. I don't even know if we're going to hit 30 minutes here, but short one here without my buddy Ty. Not a ton to talk about, not many great movies coming out. We haven't really seen much, but I did see Gran Turismo last night, and I'll do a quick convince me to see or not. So we'll just hop into it. I already gave an overview of the film for upcoming movies, and it is a true story. That part is pretty neat. So it's a story of a Gran Turismo player who gets invited to go to this essentially racing camp. One of Orlando Bloom's character, he's an executive, and his whole thing is like, ooh, let's prove that these racing sim drivers are real drivers too. So we're going to take the best ones and we're going to put them in real race cars, and we'll see how they do. And, you know, obviously the nuances that come with that. But it's a true story. It's really what I want to harp on here, because I am going to convince you to not see it, which is sad. It was very close. I'm not saying don't see it in general. I am saying don't go to the theaters to see it, because it really isn't worth it. These reviews I'm seeing are a bit misleading. Sitting at a 7.2 on IMDb. The Metacritic score is probably more accurate, around a 46 at the time of this recording. It drags on a little bit. You think of racing movies, you think of any sports movies, they're always winning by an inch. That's the whole thing. They're like, oh, he's an underdog, he's going to win by an inch. He wins by an inch like 4 times in this movie, and it's like too many. You can only do that so many times before it just gets boring and expected. However, there are some unexpected moments in this film. I won't spoil them, but when those unexpected moments do happen, it's about a little over halfway through. That's when the movie gets really good and pulled back my interest. The whole beginning of it's very typical jock dad. Oh, you all you do is play video games. You're never gonna do anything with your life. And dad's used to be a pro soccer player, which is also part of the true story, which is pretty neat. But it's the whole, you go outside, make friends, you play video games too much, that nonsense that we've all dealt with. But they put that in the film, and it's just dug in way too much for like the first half hour. And then, like I said, he obviously gets invited to the camp, goes through the camp, it's the whole training. You're going to become a great race car driver, and you're going to get an FIA racing license. That whole thing happens, and it's interesting. It really is. The cars are super cool. The story is neat, but like I said, it gets boring because it's the same thing over and over for most of the film. Like I said, there is a highly unexpected part that was the best part of the film, which is also part of the true story. So if you look into this driver, let me pull open his name real quick, and then I can tell you exactly who he is. But I can, the real life story is interesting enough, but obviously in the movie they got to hype this dude up a bit more. He's never been that good of a racer. If you go and look at his record, they obviously showcase his best moments in the film, but the real driver is Jan Mardenborough. That is his real name. You can look him up, look up his record. Still, nonetheless, super cool story. I mean, what can you expect? He's not going to be this fantastic driver that just wipes the floor with everyone. It just wouldn't happen, because the people who do this, they've been driving go-karts since they were 4 years old, rich kids that make all the money and are just forced into this world. You know, look at all the F1 drivers. It's basically the same thing. And yeah, that's to be expected. Jerry Horner, aka Ginger Spice, is in the movie, and she plays Jan's mom in the film. And what's funny there is she's married to Christian Horner. So if you follow Formula One, Christian Horner is the team principal for Red Bull Racing. So that's kind of cool that they throw her in this film. She obviously knows the world. She's married to, you know, the number one team in the world right now in Formula One. So pretty neat there. You know, this might have been better as a documentary. The story itself is neat, but the movie gets a little bland too quickly. It's too long. It is too long. There were times I tuned out, and I'm like, okay, is this over yet? It's 2 hours, 15 minutes. The racing, obviously, is going to be the most exciting parts of the film. The camp is pretty interesting. You know, they try to make these rivals of these racers that don't exist. So obviously they got to stir up some shit that isn't a real thing. But I don't want to spoil it, but there is a massive twist about an hour and a half through that is shocking. And if you do go and look up Jan, you will see what that twist is. So with that said, this is a movie that I want to go to theaters to see. And if you don't really care about racing in general, or you don't care about Gran Turismo or racing simulators at all, this is probably just a hard skip for you. You know, I may have liked it a bit more. I'm into Formula One. I do play racing sims when my PC's working. But that might be why I enjoyed this movie a little bit more. But overall, I can't willingly tell people that you have to go see this film. It just won't hit the mark for a lot of people. And I don't want to waste your time. I ended up giving it a 5 out of 10. The twist that I'm talking about bumped me up to a 6 for a little bit, but then it goes back into its old ways of things for the final, 20, 30 minutes of the movie, and it just kind of dulls it down. So I'm comfortable giving it a 5 out of 10 here, and letting you know, probably not worth your time to go see. Definitely not worth your time to see it in theaters. And if you're not into racing in general, go ahead and skip it. You won't be missing anything. So that will do it here. Hopefully Ty is back for the next one. Hopefully my PC's working for the next one. Gonna go here and try to fix that. Next, there's just not a ton to talk about here. We peaked for the movies up until, what? I have a little bit of interest in The Nun 2, but not that much. What's the next big movie that I'm going to care about? It might be a little bit. Is it going to be Saw 10? It's probably Saw 10. Yep, Saw 10, September 29th. And, that's such a while away. Then Killers of the Flower Moon is not for a while, but that's the October 20th. That's the only one remaining that has a chance at the number one spot for the year. So, won't drag it out any longer here. Thanks for listening in to me, Ty. Hope you're back next time, buddy. And we will see everyone then. Bye-bye.